Give it up, everybody, in the chat for Megan and Rebecca Lovell Larkin Poe. Hey. Yeah, let them hear it. Welcome to the stream, y'all. How you doing?
We're doing good.
Very well.
Good to be here. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, of course. Really excited to have you on today. Oh my God, everybody's freaking out. We got a lot of peaches in the chat coming at us. They know where y'all from.
That's right, Georgia Peaches.
So just want to chat a little bit before you jump into your performance. I know y'all been pretty busy lately, and you ended up releasing 2 albums last year. You had your Kindred Spirit, which is all covers, and then you had Self-Made Man come out. That must have been crazy. Talk to me about the last year.
Yeah. So as you can imagine, like the majority of artists out there, we had so much touring slated for 2020, but when it all got pushed, we figured we wanted to make use of the time, silver lining principle and all that, and we decided to take the time to make the second record, Kindred Spirits. But making and releasing 2 records in a year, it actually wound up being one of my favorite artistic experiences. We started our own record label in 2017, so to be able to have that artistic freedom to just make a move and like steer the pony in the direction we wanted to go really fast, it felt great.
Wow. That's awesome. I also didn't know that you had your own record label. Do you have any artists you want to shout out that are signed to you guys?
We have not signed any artists yet.
Oh.
Yet. Operative word being yet, but we are very excited about expanding the enterprise. Tricky Woo Records is our label name, and we've released 4 records on Tricky Woo at this point, or is it 5? I can't remember. But yeah, at some point, we would love to sign some people. There's so many great artists out there.
I know, especially where you are too in Nashville. We had even on the stream a few weeks ago, we had Marcus King on coming out from Nashville,
Boy.
and that was really awesome. I know y'all moved to Nashville from Georgia. When did that happen, and how has the transition been since then?
We've been in Nashville for, I guess, about 5 years now. And, it's a music city, so for us it just made sense to kind of make the trek up, even though it was only a skip, hop, and a jump anyway.
It's true. And lesser known fact, we were actually born in Tennessee. Our folks had us in Knoxville, Tennessee. So technically, on a technicality, we're Tennessee girls, but we claim being Georgia Peaches.
So you came home essentially.
It was absolutely a coming home, just 25 years in the making.
And since moving back to Nashville, or back to Tennessee as a whole, did you find kind of more inspiration from your songwriting that came out in the past 5 years, or has anything dramatically changed for you two in the past 5 years to steer your music in a new direction?
Yeah. I mean, I think even just the fact that we've gone from early 20s to late 20s, early 30s, what a release. What a wonderful relief to finally both of us be in our 30s. I think that has been a major key in unlocking a lot of the creativity, the willingness to be vulnerable with songwriting and not be quite so wrapped up in the need to really purvey swagger and have this artifice. I think that's been a great changing pivotal piece for us.
Yeah, and in the past 5 years, I think we've really come into our own as far as finding our true voice, like delving more into roots music and the blues, and it's really been connecting with people. We've got an album that had a Grammy nomination, so in the past couple of years, it's really been coming together for us.
Yeah, just getting back to what's real, because we grew up playing bluegrass music as kids, and for a large portion of our adult years, we didn't really pay tribute to that, and I think taking time to dig deep and realize what part of the story is really authentic and rings true at your core. That's felt great. And to get there as sisters, man, I wouldn't trade it for the world. So it's been a good past 5 years, I would say.
Yeah, that's awesome. And speaking of your bluegrass roots as well, I saw y'all did start as the Lovell Sisters with your third sister. And Rebecca, I saw that you used to play the fiddle as well. Is that correct?
Oh yes. So as kids, actually, when I was 3.5 and Megan was 4, our parents started us on classical violin and piano lessons. So that was our initial introduction to music, was strictly sheet music, classical kids, all the way up until our early teens. And that's when we broke off, and Megan transitioned to the slide guitar, to the dobro and the lap steel, which is this little beast right here.
Oh yeah.
And that's when I kind of started playing more fiddle style violin, picked up the mandolin and the banjo and the guitar, and it's just been like a process ever since then. We have not spent more than 2 weeks apart from each other in our lives, and we've not spent 2 weeks apart from our instruments. It's definitely a lifestyle choice.
And I mean a great one. I've been loving your guys' music for a while now, and just really appreciate you being here. And take that guitar, take that dobro, put them to use. I'll let you go on ahead with your set.
Let's do it. We'll start with the title track of our record, Self-Made Man. This is She's a Self-Made Man. Come on. I've been down and out, now I'm up again. When I roll the dice, everybody wins. Like a cannonball, moving down the track. Baby's on the way, she ain't coming back. Never coming back, never coming back. Baby's on the way, yeah. Shooting out the lights and the smoke alarms. Keep your fingers crossed, I'm a lucky charm. Like a cannonball, moving down the track. Baby's on the way, she ain't coming back. Never coming back, never coming back. Baby's on the way, yeah. Never coming back, never coming back. Baby's on the way. I don't give a damn. Lord have mercy on myself, I made man. Oh, self-made man. Oh, self-made man. I can't let it go. Gotta do or die for an underdog. I'll go riding by. I'm gonna juice it up in my Pontiac. Baby's on the way. She ain't coming back. Never coming back. Never coming back. Baby's on the way. Yeah. Never coming back. Never coming back. Baby's on the way. I cannot, I don't give a damn. Lord have mercy, I'm a self-made man. I got a plain love top and two strong hands. Lord have mercy, I'm a self-made man. Come on. Oh, self-made man. Oh, self-made man. Sing it. Ladies and gentlemen, She's a Self-Made Man. We're, I think, based on what we spoke of earlier about embracing our Southern roots and our Southern heritage, and that definitely being a large part of our story arc in the last 5 years, we want to play for you another track off of Self-Made Man. And this is a song about the music of the South and a lot of the artists that have really inspired us and shaped us as artists over the years. This is Back Down South. The trees down in Georgia grow as tall as a cross. My little Richard was singing where rock and roll learned to walk. Country blues in Alberta, get those tubes running hot till the surface out here. So y'all let me out of this box. awaken, put your ear to the ground where the brothers are sleeping and you can still hear the sound of a band that was singing about a sky that was blue. They're singing for me, and now I'll sing it for you. Streets of gold, ain't that red dirt clay? Leave some peaches in a basket by the pearly gates. When my race is run, hear that angel sound. May the good Lord show me mercy, send me back downtown. Those streets of gold, ain't that red dirt clay? Leave some peaches in a basket by the pearly gates. When my race is run, hear that angel sound. May the good Lord show me mercy, send me back downtown. May the good Lord show me mercy, send me back downtown. May the good Lord show me mercy, send me back downtown. Send me back downtown. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on.
Wow, hell yeah. That was fantastic. Wow,
Hey.
great job. The chat is blowing up about it. There's like fire everywhere. There's hearts everywhere. Very, very happy. A lot of applause.
That's sweet. Thanks. Thanks, guys.
So those two tracks were off of Self-Made Man,
Yeah.
your originals album that you released last year. I was wondering, you talked a little earlier about your classical training and how that kind of took part in your musician history. And I'm wondering, was there any voice training included in that? Because y'all do some beautiful harmonies, and Rebecca, you have a great voice. I'm wondering, was there any training involved in that, or is that just completely self-taught for both of you?
You know, very sweet, John. Thank you. We didn't have a whole lot of training, did we?
No, we sang in the choir a little bit in church, so
Yeah.
that was kind of the extent of our training.
I feel like our training has been a trial and error. There have been many tours where I've blown my voice out and learning how to sing and what you're capable of as a singer. And it's hilarious. A lot of these records are no longer in, I guess, digital distribution. But when we first started Larkin Poe in 2010, we released 4 EPs, like little short records, one for each season. And when you compare my voice to the first year of Larkin Poe to now, you almost can't even tell it's the same person. It's a little bit of a disconnect in terms of it actually still being me. And that really, I think, has just come from spending the majority of our time as a band on the road, touring very aggressively, and that really teaching us so much and being very thankful for that experience.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, too, that I did listen to your first EPs a little bit, and I was like, I just can't put my finger on, is this the same person singing as like on this? But that's great.
Surreal.
And yeah, it definitely sounds like touring has, I mean, it does that. Whether you like it or not, it strengthens your voice. So that's really good that it's done that for you as well. But Megan, too, speaking of vocal training, I want to talk to you a little bit about the slide guitar and a little bit about your dobro. So talk to me a little bit about what made you choose this instrument, like what got you into it, and kind of at what point you decided to go all the way with it.
Yeah, just like Rebecca was saying, we grew up playing violin, so when we decided to drop our classical lessons and pick up more rootsy instruments, like I tried playing mandolin and guitar, and I even dabbled in banjo a little bit. But
Dabbled in the banjo.
I guess me and fretted instruments don't go well together, because the moment I heard a dobro being played, that was when I knew I'd found my passion and my love. And it must be coming from a violin background, like it's so pitch based, it's not fretted. So I think there's such a vocal quality to the dobro and lap steel that I really love, and specifically the lap steel, because I switched over from dobro to lap steel. It's about 6 years into playing, and I haven't looked back.
Put that bad boy up.
Yeah.
It's an unusual instrument.
Yeah.
It's kind of strange.
Wow. It's beautiful.
Yeah, this is my baby. This is my old 1950s Rickenbacker lap steel.
1950s, unbelievable.
Oh my God. And how is the maintenance on that? Is the maintenance on it just kind of like any other guitar, or is there a specific, like, do you got a guy that you take it to and you're just like, hey, you got to set this up, man?
This is a hardy instrument. Like, it has really served me well. It doesn't require much maintenance considering that it really is a vintage instrument. But it's made out of Bakelite, which is like a really dense plastic, so it's hard to break.
Wow. That's awesome. And what do you do when you're playing it? What's on your fingers? Do you have slides on your fingers, or just one finger, or like what's the...
Oh yeah, so I play with a slide. This is a stainless steel slide, and finger picks like a banjo.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, I there's something similar. My mom's from Turkey, and we have this instrument over there called a kanun. If you ever, it's just kind of the same thing. It's like a lap, but it's all strings, and like very similar to what you have. And it's like there are little switches on the side that you hit with it and stuff. So I mean, that stuff's very fascinating to me. Those are all very personal questions for me.
Nice.
I'm so intrigued. And I'm wondering too, because y'all picked up instruments when you were quite young, and I'm wondering, is there any musicianship in your family tree, like your parents, grandparents?
You know, interestingly, not a whole lot of music makers in our families. We're definitely the first generation, and we'd love to change that. We both married musicians, so I'm sure our kids are going to get inundated with music.
Never know.
But we are distantly related. I guess it's our great grandfather. His name was Larkin Husky Poe, and that's where we got the band name Larkin Poe. And he was a distant cousin of Edgar Allan Poe, the poet. So potentially there's some family trickle-down effect of writing, songwriting, lyricists, poetry.
Wow.
Type.
Like we also get all these ravens that come to our house sometimes. I don't know what's up with that, but
You know,
Don't know what that's about.
They follow us down the highway behind the tour bus. Just this, this murder. Did you know that the what is it? The collective noun for
Ravens.
birds, for ravens and crows is a murder. A murder of
oh yeah.
like it's not a flock of these.
Yeah. Oh, I do. My inner Game of Thrones nerd knows that very well.
Touche.
Wow, really cool. But when you were growing up as well, since there was no other musicians necessarily in your family, I'm wondering what y'all grew up listening to and what kind of the fare was at the house.
Lots of music being played all the time, and that's where we really looked at as having not music makers but music lovers in our family. Both our mom and our dad were constantly playing records. Our dad was definitely like the classic rock guy, anything from the Beatles to Black Sabbath, a lot of southern rock, a lot of Thin Lizzy and the Allman Brothers. And our mother was into like the Carpenters and Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. So we feel fortunate to have come up on a diet of really solid music, and we were homeschooled to compound things. So we actually, being children of the 90s, didn't get a huge taste of, pop music because we weren't going to school, and so we ended up being those weird kids that got into bluegrass. And it's shaped our lives and made the difference ever since.
Wow, crazy. And
Yeah.
you what were your favorites?
My favorite, definitely, I think in terms of favorite singer, from day one has been Ozzy Osbourne. I think he's one of the most iconic, coolest singers. I know it doesn't make any sense, but
No,
if you
I was. Oh my God, that's just so cool.
you were to take Ozzy Osbourne and stick him on a traditional bluegrass tune, like think Dr. Ralph Stanley, "Oh Death," the guy from the quintessential song from "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou," Ozzy could sing the ever-loving crap out of that song. I believe it to my soul. So he's a definite favorite for me, and for you, my sis.
Oh, like Allman Brothers, loving a lot of that, like very slide-based kind of southern rock.
Yeah.
Is very near and dear to my heart.
Which definitely led us on the rabbit hole of Southern music and trying to understand who the Allman Brothers might have been listening to, who was Eric Clapton listening to, who were the Rolling Stones listening to, and going that next step back in music lineage to be able to experience the music of John Lee Hooker and Skip James and
all the
Son
blues
House,
greats.
all these blues greats, Muddy Waters, Johnny Winter and Edgar, and all these guys that were really pioneering early rock and roll. And even as even pre-war blues, just that's definitely where we found our groove, man, and wanting to keep the traditions alive and to be a part of that story, to hopefully
But also play it loud and proud and impart some hairs in an audience,
part some hairs.
Yeah, that's great. Love that. And last thing before I let you get back to your set, I was wondering, speaking of, growing up and your influences and such, and specifically in Georgia, too, in northern Georgia, I believe y'all were. And I was wondering, when you first started playing music and when you first started playing live, was there kind of a vibrant scene around there for you?
Yeah, certainly. I have distinct memories of being 14, 15 when we first started playing shows, having venues like the Signal Mountain Opry, which has been continually running every Sunday for the last 50 years. And actually it's closed now. So
Just this past year.
So growing up in northern Georgia and coming up into Tennessee, Chattanooga area, there were a lot of porch pickins and bluegrass get-togethers and hootenannies and pickin' parties that really facilitated our involvement in the music. And we had a lot of people, the next generation up, who were really passionate about showing us these traditional art forms and encouraging us to jam and to be involved. And it is a bit heartbreaking to see some of those things going away. And certainly having that be a large part of our mission and focus, and not just preserving and paying homage to, but hopefully being a conduit for the next generation as well, to be able to provide places and to kind of reinsert some energy so that it is still a vibrant scene for the next generation who might have an interest in blues and bluegrass music, may not know it's their favorite music, but if they had a place to listen to it, it could be.
Yeah, definitely agree. I love me some bluegrass.
Amen.
That's all the questions I have for right now. But why don't y'all hop on back into your set?
Oh yeah,
Let's do it.
So we wanted to play y'all a track off of our Grammy-nominated record from 2019. Not Kindred Spirits. What's it called?
Venom and Faith.
That's the one.
Venom and Faith.
Venom and Faith, and this is a song that really did well for us. We're gonna have Megan play some of that slide guitar here. This is Bleach Blonde Bottle Blues. Come on, girl. Tell me how you feel. Yeah. Yeah. Bleach Blonde Bottle Blues. Baby's got a short fuse. Boom, bombshell, raising hell and wild in it. She's been everywhere, seen everything. Saw it on the big screen. Got nothing on that. I said, ooh, child, what you gonna do? I said, ooh, child, what you got? I said, ooh, child, what you gonna do when them bleach slum about the blues? Hey. Shell pink Cadillac, cherry cola 6-pack, the pop and fizz hits you like a hammer. She is turning heads, weapon gray legs, seen her on the big screen. Got nothing on that. I said, ooh, child, what you gonna do? I said, ooh, child, what you got? I said, ooh, child, what you gonna do with them bleach fly bottle blues? Oh, you gotta ride, feel the fire like a first kiss. Oh, you gotta ride at your own risk. You got to ride at your own risk. Oh, you're gonna die, so go and live it while you get it. Oh, you gotta ride at your own risk. You got to ride at your own risk. Hey, you don't maybe play the slide guitar. Oh, make it get out there. Bleach blonde bottle blues, gravel in my good shoes, stomp and shake. Take pity on me, 'cause I've been everywhere, seen everything. Now I wanna come clean. I say what I mean, ooh, would you say what you mean? I mean, ooh, would you say what you mean? I mean, ooh, child, what you gonna do with them bleach blonde bottle blues? Oh, you gotta ride, feel the fire like a first kiss. Oh, you gotta ride at your own risk. You got to ride at your own risk. Oh, you gotta die, so go and live got the right at your own risk. Hey, people, get on it. Thank you guys for all the sweet emojis. Much preach. What a great way to spend. What is this? A Thursday? This is such a blast. Thank you guys for tuning in and hanging out with us for a little bit of music here with Rolling Stone. How cool. And just to make it clear really fast, because I do think it's a little bit misleading because we're doing the whole acoustic duo thing. If when the world resumes its regular rhythm, y'all are able to come out and see us at a live show, we are considerably louder in the flesh.
We're a full-on band.
I switch over to my little electric guitar. I got some Stratocasters and some Telecasters, and we really burn it down. But for the sake of connecting with y'all here and now, we're making the most of it, doing this acoustic thing, showcasing the songs. This is a very meaningful song to us about the healing power of music. It's called Holy Ghost Fire. We'll give it to you now. Myself and I lost my soul. Thumb stuck out on the side of the road. I hit the keyhole, no one's home. Who's gonna help me carry my load? All I got in my pockets, hoes. All I got on my backbone. Stick a fork in a socket, let's rock it. Testify, sing, sing, baby, sing. Let your sorrow pass by. Lift our voices with the smoke, rising higher. Burn with that Holy Ghost fire. Stargaze child in the neon night, burn so bright can't see the light. Let it go, gotta close your eyes. The thunder rolls and lightning strikes. All I got in my pocket, oh, all I got on my back, oh, the volcano socket, let's rock it. Oh, burn, burn, baby, burn with that Holy Ghost fire. From your fingers to the frets, gonna testify, sing, sing, baby, sing. Let your sorrow pass by. Lift our voices with the smoke, rising higher. Burn with that Holy Ghost fire. Come on. Burn, baby, burn with that Holy Ghost fire. From your fingers to the frets, gonna testify, sing, sing, baby, sing. Let your sorrow pass by. Lift our voices with the smoke, rising higher. Burn, burn, baby, burn with that Holy Ghost fire. From your fingers to your frets, gonna testify, sing, sing, baby, sing. Let your sorrow pass by. Lift our voices with the smoke, rising higher. Burn with that Holy Ghost fire. Burn with that Holy Ghost fire. I love all the cute emojis. Y'all the greatest. Thank you. Thank you so much. We're going to close out our set with a song that we wrote in honor of, by and large, in honor of our grandmother and her two sisters. And of all the women that we know, these ladies in their 60s and 70s, late 70s, they would get around, they would talk trash with the best of them. And that is really one of our favorite parts of Southern culture, is the ability to really bless a heart and, just basically be like a character out of Steel Magnolias in the flesh. But we'll do this one for you. It's about gossip. It's It's called Keep Digging. 1, 2, 3. If you can't stand the heat, better get out of the kitchen. Talk is dirty cheap. You know the people gonna listen. Gonna listen. Every saint has a past. Some's a winner, some's a loser. It depends who you ask for the truth or a rumor. Or a rumor. Yeah. Who talking to who? They talking about us. No, they talking about trash. Gotta go pick it up. Who's lying to who? They lying too much. Rattling bones on the pavement to get it up. Who talking to who? They talking about us. No, they talking about trash. Gotta go pick it up. Who's lying to who? They lying too much. They're talking dirt on the pavement to get it up. Hey, keep well, I heard it from a friend. You were talking to a neighbor who was peeking through the blinds. She said she'd call you later. Call you later. Now it's ringing off the hook and the story's getting twisted. Catching dirty lips. You're just a time bomb ticket. Just take it. Who talking to who? They talking about us. No, they talking about trash. Gotta go pick it up. Who's lying to who? They lying too much. Rattling bones on the pavement, digging it up. Who talking to who? They talking about us. No, they talking about trash. Gotta go pick it up. Who's lying to who? They lying too much. Rattling bones on the pavement, digging it up. Hear what they say, see what they do, and if they don't patch up, they're probably lying too. Hear what they say, see what they do, and if they don't match up, I might be lying too. Oh, who talking to who? They talking about us. You know they talking that trash. Gotta go pick it up. Who's lying to who? They lying too much. Rattling bones on the pavement. Get it up. I said, who talking to who? They talking about us. You know they talking that trash. Gotta go pick it up. Who's lying to who? They lying too much. Rattling bones on the pavement. Get it up.
Oh man, nice. Yeah, chat, give it up. Give it up, y'all. They've been splashing emojis all over the screen. Want everybody in the chat to know too that Larkin Poe is going to be sticking around for a little longer. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, and I can read them and I'll communicate them right over. But great set, y'all. First of all, great set.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Amazing. Felt the soul.
Putting it out there.
I was wondering, so to kind of plug something else for y'all, I was on your YouTube channel a little while ago, and I saw that in addition to your music videos, in addition to some content, I see you put out a lot of covers.
Yeah.
And I definitely have binged them many a time. But I'm wondering, did those covers, because you started doing those quite a long time ago, I know it's back in even 2017. I'm wondering, when did those kind of spin off into your idea for the Kindred Spirits album?
Yeah, we've been making cover videos for a number of years, like maybe 4 or 5 years now, and we kind of used it more as a practice tool, like learning other people's songs in between tours, just
Yeah.
to kind of keep ourselves fresh. And so we put up a couple of videos online, and people really dug them. And since then, quite a few of them have gone viral, and we've just continued to do it through the years.
Yeah.
And we always had people commenting, like asking for a record of covers kind of recorded just how we do them in the bedroom, really stripped back, just the two of us. So we figured in 2020, since we weren't touring, that it felt like the right year to do that project.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great, and it came out really nice. I'm sure like all your fans were really happy about that because I saw like some of the views on the covers were really really great. So I mean, especially I'm wondering what was the process like of composing those bigger songs, like huge songs. Like I know you guys did Nights in White Satin, which is probably
Yeah.
a favorite song of mine, and you did a stripped down version of that. And I'm wondering kind of what the process was like to take these huge, larger than life songs and kind of break them down and just get guitar, vocals, slide.
Yeah, it's definitely been a process we've honed over the course of years at this point. And like Megan said, using it as a tool, you know, to better refine our voice as Larkin Poe. Because I think what makes a really good cover is a rendition in which you experience something new from a song. Because no one can beat the original renditions of songs. Like, we're not gonna sing Crocodile Rock better than Elton John, and we're not gonna sing Nights in White Satin better than Justin Hayward. But if you can bring something new and shine like a different light on a part of the song that people may not have noticed before, release something new, that's when I think you really get some magic. And as sisters together, we have a deep unspoken connection when it comes to arranging music and the way that we are able to almost like intuitively know where each other is going with a musical idea. Very unspoken, a lot of fun, and I think we wouldn't have developed that strong kind of like seventh sense between the two of us, assuming that the sixth sense is something that's actually real. Add a seventh one to the set, seventh son of this on the seventh day and the seventh hour and the seventh sense and all that. But you know, like I do think that really was a great way for us to work on that skill together, work on music together as a team. And I know this is kind of a roundabout answer to your question, but all that to say, it's usually very organic. We sit down with a song that we really connect with lyrically, or there's a melody in it that we really wish we had written, and then we just run with it. We sit down and we start toying around, and eventually it kind of falls into Larkin Poe shape.
Yeah, we end up oftentimes changing the song quite a bit, although we do it with deep, reverent respect for the original.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course. And also, is there any particular song that you like performing the best together? If you both had a pick, or would you pick the same one,
the
I guess?
covers?
Yeah.
Ooh, you know,
man.
weirdly, and this is so funny because if you go to our YouTube channel, which you absolutely should because it is really fun, you'll see that we definitely hinge more on like the classic rock vibe of things. But occasionally we'll step out and we'll do some pop covers. And we actually covered Seal's Kiss from a Rose. And that's one of my favorites because it totally scratches like my 90s itch. And like I think of Batman and like the whole thing. And I can really get caught up in that character when I'm singing. And as an asterisk for any of our new people out there, Seal actually totally texted. He got our number from our management. And having seen our cover of Kiss from a Rose, he reached out and was the most lovely guy and was like, hey, if ever you need anything, like you guys really unleashed something new in the song, love it, like I'm here for you. And we're like, Seal, oh my God. So for me, it's definitely, it's pop vibes. What about you?
Oh, that was a favorite of mine as well. And probably Bell Bottom Blues as well.
Derek and the Dominoes.
Wow. So cool. I can't believe you guys got a call from Seal. That's incredible. Oh, man. I got some questions in the chat, too. People have been asking a few questions, so I'm going to throw some at you. Have you always played music together? What was the convo like to start a band together?
Ooh.
We've been playing together since I was 4 and she was 3. So quite a number of years. And the band kind of just happened really, really organically. We've always played together since we were young and sang together since we were babies. So it kind of we've been touring for 15 years.
I feel like we didn't have a conversation about starting the band, but in as people can imagine, when you're touring with a sibling, sometimes you can have hairy moments on the road, and particularly in our early 20s. We had many conversations about ending the band, and we probably have more conversations about we
Never
cannot
seriously though.
we cannot work together anymore. This is the end. You know, at the end of some hard tour.
So dramatic.
So dramatic. Again, as we said earlier, thank God we're in the cruise control of our 30s.
That's a great way to describe it. Another question over here is a very specific to one song. What is the story behind the song Danger Angel? I love the song.
Ooh, I'm so glad. Danger Angel was written on a total whim. I sat down and had a guitar riff that was just annoying me. It really wanted to be written. So I sat down and I messed around. And I basically wrote a badass Disney character. Like, you know, growing up in a child of the 90s, you know, there were lots of Ariels and Pocahontases. Pocahontas was pretty badass. But like there were kind of a lot of frou-frou Disney lead ladies, and I was like, come on, like no more Cinderella. Where is our demonic bad girl Disney superhero? And so I wrote her, and she is a danger angel.
Sick. And kind of going off that too, do you have a song that either of you or both of you are the most proud of?
Oh man.
I feel one of the songs that I am most proud of having written, and it's a very personal song, and it's as of yet unreleased. This is definitely a song that has lived in the live show and has also gone somewhat viral on YouTube with some of the live performances. It's called Mad as a Hatter, and it's a song that we wrote for our grandfather, our paternal grandfather, who dealt with schizophrenia in his lifetime, and basically just a conversation within the song about how to feel about mental illness and how to process.
And it started so many conversations with people across the world, and it's like brought us together with people, and it's just one of those songs that's done a lot for us in spirit.
Yeah, it was written from a place of vulnerability and asking questions, and you know.
And it's got a lot of responses.
Yeah, and it's been a really amazing point of connectivity, and we do intend to release this song, and sooner than people think. So we'll have to have our core fans who know this song and who care about this song know that we are releasing a version soon. So stand by on that.
That's really exciting. I mean, I think that's great that when you can use music in such a way to create a conversation around these things and kind of drive people towards thinking, even just thinking about these things in the bigger picture is really, really cool. And
agreed. I think that music is the ultimate form of connectivity, you know, and in feeling that you're not alone, because it's easy at times in our darker moments to become wrapped up internally and to feel that you are unique in your suffering. And when you allow the light to come in and you allow your words to reach other people, you realize that there is so much more resonance and reflectivity in life if you allow for that, if you allow people in. And in that way, I think that 2020 has been such a great year for us. We've been able to reach so many more people online, and I mean, even with this Twitch stream, we're all spending time together in a way that we're not used to, and allowing that to be a positive, to spin it as
it's beautiful.
Yeah, as a definite silver lining for sure.
Absolutely. And speaking of our lovely Twitch community, I got more questions from them in the chat. They are asking, do you have a best live experience? Now, I'm assuming we can answer that in both ways. I'm assuming it's your best live performance that you've had, or your favorite live performance that you've ever had, and best concert you've ever seen.
Ooh, I like them both. You do one or the other?
Yeah, I'm just gonna jump right in with. We had the opportunity to go on tour with Bob Seger, and getting to watch him play every night has got to be some of my favorite musical experiences of my life. Just because he is such a performer. He's like the total package, and he's got the songs, and getting to watch him connect with an audience every day was really special.
So then in the B part of the question, best show we've ever attended, it's going to be a Neapolitan triple scoop. We're talking one, Bob Seger, getting to watch him every night. Dude is one of the greatest performers of all time. Secondly, we got to open for Queen when Queen was touring across Europe with Adam Lambert on their 2018 tour or something. I can't quite remember. But we were in Germany and we got to play. It was our first stadium gig ever. And getting to stand out in the drizzling rain and watch Brian May sit at the front of the stage and acoustically perform with a video screen of Freddie like blown up ginormous. Chills
amazing.
down the spine. That was amazing. And then thirdly, oh wait, do you want to pick one? I feel kind of greedy taking them all.
No, you can go ahead.
Are you
but-
sure?
Yeah.
Okay. And thirdly, I would say this is going to be so cheesy, but I'm a huge Jeff Buckley fan, and I never got to see him live. And so when I first fell in love with Jeff Buckley's music, I got his Live at Chano. I think that's how you say the venue name. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it's a live DVD. So if anybody else can connect on their Jeff Buckley fandom, let me know.
Wow. Awesome. I love the long tawdry list. I'm the same way. Anytime somebody's like, what's the best concert you've ever been to? I'm like, well, yeah, this one was pretty great, but also like I love this one. Or the
Oh, yeah.
So right there with you. I got another lengthier question here. I've seen you guys talk a lot about your inspiration coming from blues and other music from the South. I wonder if you guys have ever listened to British/Celtic folk music for inspiration.
Yeah, yes. Weirdly, not to the point where I could name artists. It's like sort of superficial listening.
But there's a lot of reels and
Yes.
a lot of songs in bluegrass culture that are definitely directly descended from Irish.
Yeah, like instrumental tunes that we would have learned.
Celtic music.
And I think especially in early days of Larkin Poe, we definitely had a few like Celtic flavored songs because it's a beautiful style of music, and the Scottish Highlands and Irish folk, like those are a lot of the people that wound up in the southern United States. So I'm sure that we feel some kinship for a reason.
Yeah, it makes sense too. With the large, I feel like Celtic music has such a wide variety of instrumentation, and it sounds like y'all bluegrass and y'all have kind of a similar way of taking these instruments and just incorporating them into modern sounds, which is, makes sense to me.
Makes sense to me too.
So another specific question, will you release Black Echo? I love the time you sang it at the Blue Note.
Oh wow.
Never say never.
Never say never. I know that some songs, it's so interesting. Some songs just get kind of caught in betwixt and between, and they may never make it on a record.
They
Maybe-
definitely have a life of their own.
Yeah, but maybe they're not supposed to. You never know.
Cool. And a few more over here. What is so this is kind of a doozy of a question. What is your least favorite song that you have written?
Ooh, I have so many. I'm okay. So, honesty hour. I struggle with self-criticism, as I know many people do. We can be very, very, very hard on ourselves. We are our own worst critics. And a lot of my songs, as soon as I've written them, I begin to hate them. When we made Self-Made Man, this song Holy Ghost Fire, which ended
was
up
about to
actually
say.
being our lead single off the record, I'd written it in the last 3 weeks before making the record. We recorded it, it was there, and I was like, we need to trash this. This is terrible. This is the worst song ever. And Megan was like,
I was like,
no.
I had Holy Ghost Fire's back. I was like, I am not
She's
letting
like-
this be trashed.
She's like, no, there's
Yes.
enough room on the raft. Like, I'm thinking of that Titanic moment when old boy slips off in the water. Like that, I was ready to let that song go down to the bottom of the deep blue sea, but no, Megan made room for it. And so it just goes to show that really, the internal critic is not particularly well geared to steer you in the right direction. So,
Wow.
silence that sucker.
Well, thank you for the honesty hour there. I know that question came from the chat, and I was looking at it like, oh man, should I really like?
Let's go there.
Good.
Let's do that.
Good. I'm glad y'all were game for it. And also, what is the hardest cover that you've composed or played?
I think it still reigns supreme for Beatles, right? Within
Oh.
You, Without You.
That was really. It sounds super simple, but it's actually very complex.
Yeah, I think it's one of the first. It's like within the first year or so of our cover video channel, people want to scoot all the way back. Within You, Without You, that was a very hard one to do. Yeah.
That's a beautiful song too, and y'all did it well.
Gorgeous. Oh, thanks.
And speaking of, also, we talked about a little touring and like if things, get better anytime soon. We're looking at the possibility of y'all touring around the U.S. hopefully. I'm sure everybody in the chat would be really excited about that, as would I. I'm wondering, is there a specific dream venue that you haven't played that you would like to get in there and mix it up with?
A lot, but one for me is Red Rocks. I think that has such a magical feel to it, so that would be a huge bucket list.
We need every fan of ours across the United States to trek with us to Colorado so that we can maybe have a shot at beginning to maybe get 50-60% of Red Rocks filled. Let's go, guys. Let's work together on this.
I hope. I'll pick up a rock for it. I'll put a rock down.
Thank you. You have no idea how much that means. Rock on, brother. Sorry,
Oh,
dad
that's
jokes.
hilarious. Oh my God. So on that kind of wavelength too, when you're touring, great question came up in the chat just now, and very serious question. So I hope you can meet me on this, meet me in the middle. But when you're touring, when you're going from venue to venue, do you have a favorite barbecue spot to stop at?
Oh, I mean, that's a tricky one.
It's a tricky one because we kind of don't eat a whole lot of meat.
Yeah.
Aha. Okay. All right.
Given that we were born and raised in Georgia and Tennessee, it's somewhat duplicitous to our heritage.
But we do love some barbecue sides, and I would say Martin's Barbecue here in Nashville is really excellent.
They have some amazing mac and cheese.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. That was for the chat. Someone was wondering, so had to pass it along. But as we kind of wrap up things here, I wanted to talk to you real quick about any projects that are coming up. You mentioned your favorite song has yet to come out, but it is written. I'm wondering if you have any things coming up, what y'all are working on.
Yeah. We're always, behind the scenes, noodling around, starting our own label and really having our finger in pretty much every slice of the business of Larkin Poe means that we're able to move really quickly and work on things. So we do have things that are coming, y'all. Definitely stay on the lookout for new pieces of community for Larkin Poe and new music. We're still figuring out timeline, but we will have news for you guys soon. And if ever you're looking for things to do on the weekends, we always have some live streams cooking. We're releasing cover videos all the time. We like to stay active on the socials to just remind ourselves that we're not alone.
And we're very hopeful about shows this year. So
Yes.
it's starting to look good.
So everyone keep thinking positively, keep taking care of yourselves, and before we know it, we're all gonna be rocking together. I believe it to my heart.
Well, thank you. Thank you all so much for coming on today, indulging me, our fans, everybody here. You did wonderfully. We really, really enjoyed your set all around in the studio. My tech director was rocking out during it too. I'm sure everybody at home was going crazy. So thank you so much. We really appreciate the time, and man, best of luck. Best of luck.
No, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, our pleasure.